The era of FCAT and FSA coming to a close.
The FSA is outmoded at this point.
The governor makes the announcement at a South Florida school. Racial disparities in access to COVID vaccines and testing.
We're going to eliminate a ton of barriers.
Data from Johns Hopkins just released. And she never gave up hope. A Florida woman's search for her missing daughter spans hundreds of miles in 14 years. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak. From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
The controversial Florida standard assessment testing might soon be a thing of the past.
Governor Ron DeSantis has announced he's working on a bill to end the exam. Governor Ron DeSantis announced public schools in Florida will no longer conduct end-of-year state testing and will instead rely on year-round observations to evaluate student progress. A bill is now being created to end the testing because he says it is outdated and leaves less time for learning. It's also putting extra pressure on students.
We believe we've done a lot of great stuff in education over the years in Florida. We believe that having results monitored and measured is very, very important. But we also think that the FSA is outmoded at this point.
The implementation of progress monitoring is not a done deal yet, as state officials will work on putting together the bill in the upcoming months.
As COVID-19 continues to spread across the country, new data showing Black and Hispanic Americans are underrepresented in vaccinations throughout the country.
In order
the new data shows these communities are more heavily represented among those who have been infected or died from COVID than those who have been vaccinated.
In order to vaccinate folks that are in the hardest to reach populations, our model is that we go to where folks are. We don't wait for them to come to us.
With the help of organizations and community health workers, minorities can get educated and vaccinated in the most impacted zip codes.
The Justice Department is limiting the use of chokeholds and no-knock warrants by federal officers. Federal law enforcement officers are now prohibited from the use of chokeholds in which agents can perform no-knock or unannounced entries. The policy will ban officers from using these restraints unless deadly force has been authorized. The changes apply to federal agents who work under the Department of Justice.
Reunited after more than a decade, a mother is back with her daughter after she was kidnapped 14 years ago. Take a look. A child who was allegedly abducted by her father back in 2007 was reunited with her mother at the U.S.-Texas border yesterday. It began on December 22, 2007, when Angela Salgado reported that her missing 6-year-old, Jacqueline Hernandez, was taken from their Lake County home. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said that when the child went missing, a warrant for kidnapping was issued for the father, Pablo Hernandez. It would take 14 years later to reunite the mother and daughter after Salgado received a message through social media. The message was from a woman identifying herself as Jacqueline, indicating she was in Mexico and wanted to meet at the Texas border on September 10th. On that day, with assistance from Orange County Sheriff's Office, Homeland Security, Laredo Police Department, and ICE investigators, Salgado showed up in anticipation of a reunion. The documents provided by Salgado and Clermont Police proved Jacqueline was indeed Salgado's now 19-year-old daughter. Clermont Police say they still have an active warrant out for Pablo Hernandez, the biological father, who they believe is currently living in Mexico. A launch from Florida putting tourists into orbit.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We've never had an experience like this before. That's something that's for the whole family.
Serious Halloween event is coming to Miami-Dade. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that. Oh boy.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our fellow Americans.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans.
And soon, they will be available to everyone.
The science is clear. These vaccines will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
They could save your life.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
That's the first step to ending the pandemic and moving our country forward. It's up to you.
Spooky season in South Florida as a not-so-scary attraction opens its doors. The Haunted Circus Carnival had its opening night at Tropical Park in Southwest Miami-Dade yesterday.
And as the network's Valeria Venturini reports, it was an experience designed for the whole family.
The Haunted Circus Carnival is an event that includes shows, food and beverages, pumpkin carvings, and so much more. It is Halloween themed, but it's not scary, making it a perfect experience for the whole family.
Hello, and welcome to the Haunted Circus.
The combination of live entertainment and activities makes this immersive theater a whole experience. Attendees have to go on a mystery quest to find the circus missing aerialist.
You go tent to tent, super interactive. You get all these different forms of entertainers, and then with each tent you get a letter, and the letter forms the aerialist's name, and you solve the mystery at the end, and she appears, and there's this beautiful Cirque du Soleil demonstration, and it's awesome for the whole family.
The event was canceled last year due to coronavirus, and the anticipation for this year was very high. COVID-19 measures are being taken to make sure everyone enjoys safely.
We've never had an experience like this before. That's something that's for the whole family. I think it's exciting enough for the adults, but also tame enough for kids. And we'd love to invite everybody out. I think it's tremendous value for the price.
The event will start Wednesday, September 15th here in Tropical Park, and if you want to support a local event, this is the perfect opportunity. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Valeria Venturini.
4 space tourists are ready to see space for the first time and make history doing so. For the first time ever, a group of non-professional astronauts will be going into space as part of SpaceX's Inspiration 4 mission. It's the first mission in the history of spaceflight to be staffed entirely by non-astronauts. The crew featuring a billionaire, a cancer survivor, a geologist, and a raffle winner. The launch window opens this evening for the 3-day trip.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Danelle Dukin.
And I'm Zetlali Solache. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.